Doncaster event, the last event, where he lost second round to Liam Dunster. Definitely one of the form players in this format, and one of the players with his eyes firmly set on a first title. And it is Simon Fitzsimmons who wins the lag and gets to have the first break. We've talked about it a lot so far this afternoon. The first frame in this format is absolutely huge. Again, not quite the break that Simon wanted. It doesn't. These balls aren't opening up as cleanly as the players would want. Certainly the last few breaks haven't been quite as big as they would want. But opens up with a plant to get himself going and give himself an opportunity. The white hasn't come out though, and may not have another option on, or can he see the ball at the top of the table? He can, but he still can't control the white. So far he's just fighting to get into this visit and give himself an opportunity. Not quite, but he's controlling the frame with that. It was an attempted pot, but it's not one that him missing is going to be, he's not going to be too concerned about. He knows he's leaving an opportunity for Patty, but it's a very difficult opportunity, and one where if he wants to go for it, he's probably forced to play the skill shot. Red onto yellow and have the red follow it in. For your first real shot in the Taom Shootout, that was high tariff. If he was straight behind it, I would have fancied him to get it, but the angle he had on it, it makes it so much harder. You have to be so precise with those shots. You have to catch the ball over the pocket so full on that the object ball will then follow it through rather than going off to the left or right. But only potting your opponent's ball means that Simon Fitzsimmons comes to the table with cue ball in hand and a free shot. He will pop the red and then go yellows. Yeah, you can see he catches the right hand side of the yellow on the replay, and if he catches it full ball, that ball then tracks behind it and goes in as well. Catching it half ball means that it's just going to throw off to the right hand side and hit the jaw and give away the foul. And that's what makes those shots so difficult, is you have to be so precise with them. So, surprising miss from Simon. He just overscrewed his free shot. When he potted the red, he just came back up the table a little bit too far and made the next shot awkward. I think he would have preferred maybe to come up a slightly bit further up the right hand side of the table and perhaps been on the yellow to the top left. I was still surprised to see him miss the pot that he did though. Both players in this match, in this opening frame, showing some early nerves, as we've pretty much seen all the way through this afternoon session. There was another sign of it. It wasn't just the missed pot, it was slightly loose positional shot. He knows he should have been fractionally better on that ball and almost in a position where he couldn't miss it. So a third opportunity for Simon Fitzsimmons in this frame. And the first one was maybe a half chance, the second one was definitely a golden opportunity for him, as is this one. And this time Simon Fitzsimmons makes no mistake, gets that first frame on the board, and perhaps he will be able to settle down, and we will see the Paul that we have seen from him in the previous events come out. And Patty's going to be very annoyed that he's had a couple of really good opportunities, one in particular, the last one he missed. He'll be very annoyed that he wasn't able to take those out. And you can almost see that on his face. He looks very frustrated. He knows that losing that frame means he's under more pressure for it. 5 minutes of the 30 gone. And a very big break. Excellent break from Patty. You can really see from that overhead picture really how much he drives through the pack. You can see how long his queue is. The queue after he's hit the white almost follows through halfway down the table. He really gets through it and drives through the pack, and that's probably why he's generating so much power into the pack. And really big split. A loose positional shot has hurt him on this occasion. Just the safety. Simon just trying to find a spot on the table where he hides all the yellows from his opponent, and he's done a pretty good job of that. I think he can just see the edge of this yellow. Not that he could do a huge amount with it. Now Simon looking for a similar spot, but he looks frustrated. I'm not sure if he's left enough of a gap to be able to pop this yellow to the corner. I think he can definitely see it. And he did leave a gap to pot it. That's a big mistake from Simon. That little cluster that Patty McCarron has just gone into is just awkward enough that it's going to cause him a problem. If the yellow, the two together, two of these queuing over now, if the top one goes into the left centre, and I think it does, then it opens things up a little bit, but he wasn't able to get to that area of the table, and now he's just getting himself into more trouble. Well, it was a decent effort to make that yellow into the centre pocket, but it stays on the table, and now a great opportunity for Simon Fitzsimmons. So far in this frame, he's played two controlling safety shots and waiting for his opportunity. Now he's got it. Simon, mates. Very light work of that finish, moves himself 2-0 in front with 10 minutes gone in this match. And I'm delighted to say I am joined by a man who just cannot lose in this format. Good afternoon, Jordan.
Right, Simon.
How are you doing?
Well, I'm a bit better than I've won.
Just pretty nervous for that first match? You struggled at the start, but once you got going, you looked pretty good?
I felt right. I hadn't really played since Farnsworth picked me the other day in the final. I hadn't really picked my cue-ups in, so I didn't know what to expect. But I think I played probably okay. He gave me a lot of chances, but felt alright. It felt okay.
You missed a couple. You had a couple of chances early on. I think once you got yourself 2-0 in front, I think you sort of seemed to settle down, and you played some pretty good pool towards the end. A couple of good finishes from the break, or if you can call that last frame a finish from the break. Yeah,
it was pretty funny. It seems a little bit flat in the arena, so I was trying to just to have a laugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to have just to get the lads going, kind of thing. But he was giving me some grief. He was funny. He was good. He was good fun.
Yeah, I was hoping he would win a frame or two. Not that I wanted you to lose, but
of course,
because I've seen him play international pool and he really gives it some.
Yeah, he's got some
energy. Yeah, definitely.
I knew it was him for a tough game because obviously all his mates are here and obviously we're in Scotland. But I think he struggled kind of thing, didn't he?
Yeah, and it's a tough format for anyone to sort of get into, and if you struggle to start with, it's hard to get going.
Yeah, you can feel yourself getting not bogged down, but chasing the clock kind of thing.
Well, I asked you this question in Doncaster, and you weren't too concerned, but you've won 3 on a trot now of these Taom Shootouts, the inaugural event last year, and then the 2 so far on Free Sports. And do you feel any more pressure being 3-time defending champion?
Well, it is building because I'm saying to my mates, maybe it could be 4, and then if I win again, it could be for a chance for 5. But I don't know. Hopefully, I keep getting lucky.
Because yourself, this format is so volatile that you don't have to do a huge amount wrong to lose.
No, you can make one mistake or no mistakes even. Luckily for myself, so I've been on the right side of a few touches, even against Liam in the final last time. I got a ball off the break at 4-3 down to give myself a chance, obviously, to get levels. On another day I could break dry and not have a chance, and that could have been obviously with a legacy, I suppose, and the little record could have been gone.
Yeah.
But it's good though. This event is obviously brilliant. Yeah, good shot.
Excellent finish from Patty to get himself going in this match. You look back at that final against Liam, that finish that I don't know how long you had. It was somewhere in
40 seconds,
with your 40 seconds, and you needed 41. Missed that by 1 second. That was quite incredible. But it really was an incredible final, an incredible finish to that tournament.
I think that's what the event needed, though. I think over the 2 days, I don't think it worked, and that kind of got everyone buzzing. And he was really, really good. I think he made the event in the end. Dunster played, obviously. Everyone called him slow or whatever, but he was obviously really, really good.
Yeah, he played a huge part in that final, a huge part in that tournament as well. And, shame sometimes there has to be a loser, but that really was an incredible final to sort of be involved with and to watch. And we really enjoyed it.
I watched it back the other day, and I was still getting goosebumps the other day watching it back.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those where you came to the table and thought it's not possible, and then no, it's still not possible.
And you get halfway through and you think, well, I've got a chance here, and the white's fizzing around.
You played a positional shot, and you come around 2 cushions, travelling around the table, and you had to wait for it. You were in position waiting, but it was still great to watch. And obviously, you managed to get the job done in the shootout where you were flawless, and not just flawless, but you hit the centre of the pocket every time. I think you could have been there all day and not missed the shootout.
That's how I felt. That's literally how I felt. I could have been there until now.
So later on tonight on Free Sports, you've got Craig Lakin in the quarterfinals. You've had a few good matches with Craig. You looking forward to that one?
Yeah, it'll be good. Yeah, he hasn't beat me for a long time, so hopefully it keeps that way. But he's obviously he played right, I think. In his match, he played okay. Are
you a little bit surprised how he's gone so far in the shootout events? How he hasn't really, not necessarily the results, but more the performances, not really got himself going?
Yeah, he hasn't I don't think he settled much. Lost a few matches where he didn't really get going or anything, but that can happen the way he plays. I've just been on, obviously, the way, like, it could happen to me as well. Luckily though, I've been okay, like got myself up for the matches and stuff, and been alright.
Well, this is excellent stuff from Paddy McCarron, having made a mistake not going in front in the first frame of the match, to take out the next two, as he's just done now, in such style. It's been excellent, and this match is really bubbling up to be a very exciting one. Well, thank you for your time, Jordan, and really best of luck for this evening. We can't wait to see how you go on and see if you can defend your title.
Hopefully everyone like God.
Yeah, best of luck.
Cheers, man. Thank you. Tommy.
To be honest, watching the way that Paddy McCarron went 2-0 behind and being a first timer in this event, I feared the worst for him, and I'm very, very impressed with the way he's managed to settle him down over the previous two frames. And those two finishes he took out, perhaps if he was playing a standard race to 5, out in an arena somewhere, out in a club, maybe he would have expected to take out, but he took them out in a really composed and controlled fashion, and very impressive in this arena. And Simon Fitzsimmons, who is one of the big favourites for this event, is very much under pressure. 13 minutes left on the shot clock. We're down to a 13 minutes left on the match clock. We're down to 15 seconds on the shot clock. Not much time for these players to think about it. And perhaps are we heading towards a black ball shootout for the first time today? If the scores finish tied after 30 minutes, the players will decide who goes through to the next round via a black ball shootout, which, for those of you who have not seen it before, is essentially a penalty shootout that you get in football, but on a pool table. The black gets put onto the black spot, and the players get 5 attempts from behind the line, and whoever pots the most goes through. If they're tied, we're into sudden death. This is a reasonable chance. It looks worse, that cluster in the bottom left-hand corner, as we look from the overhead, than it actually is, but two of those yellows will plant past the red, and that actually opens up that area of the table. So Simon's definitely attacking here, looking to play that plant. A lot will depend on where the first ball he hits goes. And that's okay, it still goes past the red, so it's not the full pocket, but he's going to be happy that it goes. That would have been easy when he played the plant for that, just to go a fraction further to the left, and then it starts to get tricky. Oh, that's a brilliant shot. Left far too much angle on the ball down the rail than he wanted. Had to play twice across, but he's executed that brilliantly. And a very, very competent finish from Simon Fitzsimmons, and he moves in front once again by 3 frames to 2. He was in a very similar situation in the first round in Doncaster in the previous event, earlier this year, where he went 2-0 in front of James Jack, who we had in the commentary box a couple of matches ago, and James came back in fine fashion, winning 2 frames with 2 very good finishes, and Simon was able to recompose himself and just fire in 3 consecutive finishes from the break. So it just shows that he's able. Sometimes you have to be able to sit there and take some punishment from your opponent and just wait for your next opportunity, and Simon was able to do that then, and he was able to do it just now as well. Look at that. Look at the length of the queue after he's hit the white. I talked about it on his previous break, and you can see from the overhead it's almost down as far as the pack. Obviously it's higher than the pack. It's not touching the pack when he drives through, but that's probably the longest I've ever seen the queue go through. Really is a big driving, crunching break he's got. He's run out of position. He was trying to cannon into the red and yellow. And we'll just watch this break again. Look at the queue. Look how far through the table it goes. It's quite incredible. When he screwed back, he was trying to come off 2 cushions and develop the red and black that he's just developed off that safety shot. And he wasn't able to do so and landed on nothing else, so he was forced into playing that safety. And you can hear those beeps in the background, and the buzzer went off on his previous shot. And that's the shot clock, just letting the players and everyone in the arena know when the beeps come in, that means there's 5 seconds to go. Beeps down for the final 5 seconds, and you could hear the buzzer going off, and you could clearly see that he hit the shot before the buzzer went off, so it was a legal shot. Again, not the positional shot that Paddy McCarron wanted. He needed more angle on this red to be able to develop the red and yellow at the top of the table. He's actually done really well to get the white into the top half of the table. But this hampered queuing is not going to make this next shot any easier. Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. That's up there with one of the best shots we've seen tonight. Absolutely exceptional shot. I had to play that with an extreme amount of right-hand side, and when you do that the way he did, it kills the pace of the white off the cushion, but he managed to generate enough pace in it just to nudge it on. That's an excellent finish from Paddy to tie the scores back up at 3 frames all. First time I've got to watch Paddy McCarron play, and I'm very impressed the way he handles himself around the table. He's come up with 2 or 3 excellent shots. His first one to get the white into the top half of the table, and the next one in particular where he's able to generate enough pace with the check side to develop that red. Excellent shots. And Simon makes a ball off the break. Excellent break. 6 minutes 13 left on the clock. Scores are tied, so we are heading towards a black ball shootout unless one of these players can get themselves in front in this remaining 6 minutes. But it will be Simon with the first opportunity. And the way these balls are laid out, he'll expect to take this finish out. And it's not perfect angle. It's going to have to come twice across the table again, I think. which means he needs to avoid those yellows and avoid the black. And he's just about, absolutely just about landed on the red, nearest the cushion, sorry. Oh, brilliant shot. We've seen on this table, this black ball table, these balls down the red are very tight. Oh, as it looked like he'd done the hard work, and he's thrown that all away with a loose positional shot. I don't think he can quite believe what he's done there. He won't believe that was potentially the match here. Just has to give himself a sight of the black. It is awkward cueing, which made the positional side of the shot tricky, but he had plenty of room to get that white into to have a shot at the black. And that's potentially the match, because he's now 4 minutes 30 left on the clock. There's 3-all, and Patty is a massive favourite to take this frame and go 4-3 ahead. And 4-3 ahead, and it will be his break, and we've already seen so far in this match he has a huge break. Patty looking to take his time as much as he can, keep himself composed. To be fair, he's been really composed throughout this match, but he's using all of his 15 seconds. Scottish crowd starting to really get behind their man. You can see he's just looking out the corner of his eye. There is a clock for the players in the corner of the arena, and he's just waiting until it's down to the last 2-3 seconds before he hits the shot. Pots that one with just a couple of seconds left on the clock, but more importantly moves himself 4-3 in front in a frame that Simon's going to be distraught that he's thrown away. But Paddy McCarron has got himself in front at the critical moment in this match. And here is a replay of that missed positional shot. I think he was trying to stay on the, as we look from the overhead, on the below the yellow, perhaps maybe play into the yellow to take the back to the top left corner, but he could have come across the face of it and taken it to the top right corner. He had options. Oh, just when a big break was probably going to win in the match. If he makes a ball off this break, he will probably go ahead and win the match off it, but this time he's come up dry, so he's given Simon Fitzsimmons an opportunity to tie the scores up once again. 2 minutes on the clock. That's a loose positional shot. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. He still has a problem with the yellow to the top right hand corner. It doesn't go to its obvious pocket. Can he develop it with this shot? No, he can play on it into the top left hand corner, but he's got a terrible angle. He's guaranteed to be cannoning into this red and going to be losing control of the white. And in fact, it was actually quite tight, and it just feathers the red on the way through to the corner and stays on the table. And with 1 minute 18 left on the clock, Paddy McCarron just needs to run the clock down. Well, slightly surprising miss. If he makes that shot, he's got 2 or 3 more wide open pots, and he doesn't need to think about the finish. He just had to try and run the clock down. Now he's going to give Simon, as hard as it is, he's going to give him a chance to make this yellow somewhere, somehow. Oh, what an incredible thing. He's made the fluke and landed on the yellow at the top end of the table. That's absolutely incredible. What a fluke. And you can see in the background there, Paddy McCarron can't quite believe what he's just seen. The scores are tied with 30 seconds left on the clock. And this is the shot that's going to... He misses it to its intended pocket. All his concentration was on getting McCarron at the top end of the table, which he executed perfectly. But the yellow hits both jaws, runs across, goes in the opposite corner, and we're all tied with 10 seconds left. And there is no time for a break. We are just going to be going to a black ball shootout for the first time today.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a shootout!
Well, Patty's going to be very annoyed. As much as you can be annoyed with the fluke, and I always say to myself, if that happens against me, did I have an opportunity to do something to stop that happening? And Patty did. He missed that red to the top right-hand corner, one that was a fairly comfortable pot for him, that if he makes, he's got 2 or 3 more comfortable pots, and that runs down, 3-4 times the 15 seconds, and there was only a minute left, so he wins the match if he makes that pot to the top right-hand corner. By missing it, he gave Simon the opportunity for that fluke. And it's going to be hard for him to recover into this shootout. So as discussed earlier, the shootout is just like a shootout in football. Each player will get 5 shots with the white anywhere behind the line, the black on the black spot. Whoever's in front will win the match. If the scores are tied after 5, we will go to sudden death. It is 1-0 to Simon Fitzsimmons. It wobbled, but it went in. And both players looking to go from the right-hand side as we look at it, the left-hand side for them. And just play it as a fairly comfortable playing ball shot. No need to worry about the white when you play it that way. Right in the heart of the pocket for Simon. I quite often think for players, once they find their range with these shots and they start really getting the centre of the pocket, they seem to get into a rhythm, and Simon may have found that slot already, whereas with Paddy's first one, he did rattle it. This time right in the heart of the pocket. Excellent. There's a lot riding on this match for both players. The place in the quarter-final of the Taom Shootout Falkirk, and a quarter-final match on Free Sports later on tonight. (3-2) to Simon. Both players flawless so far. And we have our first miss. Just catches it too thick, hits the jaw and stays on the table, and that may be the mistake that cost him this match. And Simon's still perfect with 4 from 4. That puts Patty McCarron on the brink. He needs to make this or he is out. Oh, excellent composure back in the heart of the pocket. He's going to make Simon Fitzsimmons earn the victory, but he'll have his next pot for victory. And in it goes, a flawless 5 from 5 from Simon Fitzsimmons, and he moves on to the quarterfinals with a shootout victory over Paddy McCarron, one that involved a dramatic last few second fluke to get himself into that shootout, but great composure to hold himself together and get the victory in the shootout. And that will be a tough one for Paddy McCarron to take, but a great first experience in the shootout for him. Next up for us, we have two Scottish debutants, Mark McAllister Jr. versus Ross Fernie.